Good morning children, welcome back. In today's session, we are going to discuss Class 4, Term 3, Unit 1 in Social Science, Tamils around the world. This is part 2 of the series. Come children, let us learn. Before going into today's session, let us have a recap of what we discussed in the last class. We had the general introduction. We also learned about the Tamils in Sri Lanka, Malaysia and Singapore. We learned that there are two groups of Tamils living in Sri Lanka. The first group is Sri Lankan Tamils. The other group of Tamils who moved from India to Sri Lanka are called as the Indian Tamils. They moved during the 19th century to work in tea plantations. Tamil is also an official language of Sri Lanka. The relations between Tamilnadu and Malaysia have existed for more than 2000 years. Tamil ships reached the modern Malaysian state of Kedah or Kadaram in Tamil in ancient times. Tamils influenced the cultural and political nature of Malaysia at the time of Pallava and Cholas. An inscription dated 779 AD has been found at Ligor in Malay Peninsula. This refers to the trade relationship that the Tamil country had with the peninsula. Tamil is one of the educational languages in Malaysia. Coming to Singapore, when the British ruled Singapore, Tamils came here as workers and traders. During the early years of Singapore in the 19th century, the Singapore government and the Christian missionary schools selected only Tamils as teachers. The Mariamman temple, built in Singapore in 1828 in the Dravidian style of architecture, is gazetted as a national monument in Singapore. Dears, in this session we will discuss about the Tamils in Fiji, Myanmar and Mauritius. Now let us learn about Fiji, F-I-G-I, Fiji. Fiji is a group of volcanic islands in the South Pacific. A volcanic island is formed by the volcanic activity, that is, a volcano will erupt on the seabed, on the sea it will erupt. The layers of lava built up until a ridge breaks the sea surface to form an island. So Fiji is a country, it is a group of islands that are created by volcanic eruption. The Tamils were sent to Fiji by Britishers as labourers between 1903 and 1916. When the British made colonies in Fiji, Tamil people were sent there as labourers, and it was between 1903 to 1916. Children, the Tamils in Fiji have always voiced their need for equal rights. They have always fought for their equal rights. As a part of this, a women's wing was formed in 1938 called the Indian Sanmarga Madar Sangam. Learn the spelling: I-N-D-I-A-N, Indian Sanmarga, S-A-N-M-A-R-G-A, Sanmarga, Madar, M-A-A-T-H-A-R, Madar Sangam, S-A-N-G-A-M. So, Indian Sanmarga Madar Sangam was formed, that was a women's wing formed for equal rights by the Tamils in Fiji. And what was the purpose? The purpose of this wing was to set aside one handful of rice each day. So they will take whatever rice you're going to cook, from that you'll just take a handful of rice and keep it aside. The purpose of this wing was to set aside one handful of rice each day before cooking so that poor and hungry Tamils can be fed. And that was used to feed the poor and hungry Tamil people over there. Such a noble activity, isn't it, children? The women in the house used to cook rice, isn't it? Your mother will cook rice, and the amount of rice mother is going to cook, from that one handful will be set aside to feed the poor and needy people. Dear children, the book named Tirukkurali was launched by Ratu Johnny, the former vice president of Fiji. So he released a book called as Tirukkurali. And he said that the books will help to promote peace and multiculturalism in Fiji. Fiji, multiculturalism means people of different culture, different religion, different communities living together. There is multiculturalism. multiculturalism, multiculturalism. And this book was a Fijian version of our ancient Tamil book Tirukkural, written by Thiruvalluvar. So the book was written by Ratu Johnny, and it is a Fijian version of our Tirukkural. Not only that, we have a Shiva Subramania temple, which is a Hindu temple, which is located in Nadi in Fiji. In Nadi, in the place is Nadi, there you have a Shiva Subramania temple. Dears, now let us learn about Myanmar. 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 Myanmar is our neighboring country. It is our neighboring country. Most people here follow Buddhism. They are followers of Lord Buddha. The culture and trade relations between Tamilnadu and Myanmar was mostly through the sea. King Anavrata means saw. Anavrata means saw. Anawrahta Anavrata Minsaw was a founder of the empire. He is considered as the father of the nation in Myanmar. Do you know, children, who is the father of our nation? Yes, that is right. It is Mahatma Gandhi. And his birthday, October 2nd, is celebrated as Gandhi Jayanti, and it's a national holiday. So Myanmar has also a father of the nation, and he is King Anavrata Minsaw. Hence, he is one of the most famous king. His son, Kyan Sithara, Kyansittha, Kyan Sithara, had good relations with Chola kingdom of Tamilnadu. Dears, in 1850, people from Tamilnadu moved here and worked in agricultural fields. In the late 80s, people started moving from Tamil Nadu to Myanmar, and they worked as laborers in the agricultural fields. The fights between the Indians and the Burmese led to riots in the country. And there were fighting between the Indian people and the people who came from Burma. You know, Burma is a neighboring country of India. And there was a fight, and that led to riot, big problems in the country. This forced a large number of Tamils to leave Myanmar. So, since there was a riot-prone area, there was always fights between the Indians and the Burmese. Many Tamil people left the Myanmar and came back to their native place. There are many temples in Myanmar for Hindu gods like the Mariamman, Murugan and Thirumal. You can find many temples in Myanmar devoted to gods Mariamman and Murugan and Thirumal. Dear children, an inscription in Tamil belonged to the 13th century AD, that is Common Era, was found in Bagang, B-A-G-A-N-G, Bagang, a city in Myanmar. There was an inscription written in stone. It was found. It says, Kulashegara Nambi, a merchant from Chera country, donated gifts to Thirumal temple in Myanmar. It says that there is a temple in Myanmar dedicated to Lord Thirumal, and a person who is a merchant named as Kulashegara Nambi. He is a merchant, that is a businessman from Chera country, and he has donated gifts to that temple. One more speciality is the Ananda temple that is found in Myanmar. Ananda temple is famous in Myanmar. The speciality of this temple is the temple's tower is made in Dravidian style. The temple itself is made in the Dravidian style, in the South Indian style, but the upper part of the tower being made in the North Indian style of architecture. I told you, children, the temple architecture, the construction of temple, there are two types of temples constructed. One is the North Indian style and the South Indian style, or the Dravidian style. So the temple is made in Dravidian style, but the upper part of the tower is made in the North Indian style of architecture. Now children, let us learn about the Tamils in Mauritius, Mauritius, Mauritius. It is a beautiful island, and France was the first country to strive for the development of Mauritius during the early years. It was a French colony. It was supposed to be a French colony. French brought many Indians to this island in the year 1729 AD as they were skilled workers. Indians were very skilled in their work, so French people brought them to the Mauritius. Many Tamils were brought from in and around Puducherry from 1731. So Tamils started coming into the place by the earlier 1729s, and more people from Puducherry started arriving in Mauritius in 1731. Generally, slaves who lived here were mere laborers, but Tamils went there as skilled laborers and artisans. So there were slaves who lived there in Mauritius, but they were just slaves or just the laborers. But our Tamil people went there as skilled laborers. They were skilled in their work. They were very good in their work. Let it be the masonry, the carpentry work, or the construction work. They were very skilled in that, and they were artisans. Artisans are people who are talented they are artists who could draw or who could carve and do the work. The Tamils helped the French make this island suitable to live and constructed many buildings. The Tamils from our Tamilnadu who went there helped the French to make the island livable, made it very beautiful, and they also constructed many buildings. Children, in 1810, the Mauritius was captured by English, and they brought more Indians to this island. So from French, the English people captured this island, Mauritius, and by 1810 they were captured. Once the English started occupying it, they brought more Indians to this island. Now Tamils are 10% of the total population. Now Tamil people occupy 10% of the total population in Mauritius. The Postal Museum, which is a beautiful rock building of the 19th century, and it is classified as a historic monument. The building is in Port Louis and was built by the Tamils. The building, beautiful stone building or the rock building you see, is that of a postal museum at Port Louis, and it was built by Tamils. You can also see the Mauritian currency. Now let us learn about Reunion. Children, Reunion is an island located in the Indian Ocean near Mauritius. You can find an island called as Reunion near the Mauritius. R-E-U-N-I-O-N, Reunion. It is a part of French Overseas Department. It is under the control of French Overseas Department. The French brought Tamils to this island from Puducherry and Karaikal. From where Tamil people came to this place? From Puducherry and Karaikal. Puducherry, P-U-D-U-C-H-E-R-R-Y, Puducherry, Karaikal, K-A-R-A-I-K-A-L, Karaikal. So French brought Tamils from Puducherry and Karaikal to Reunion. In the early days, Tamils worked in tea and sugarcane plantations. Earlier, Tamils people who came there worked in tea plantations as well as sugarcane plantations. Tamils were more than 1/4 of the total population of this island. They occupied more than 1/4 of the population. Dear children, do you know what's the specialty of Tamils there? There is no difference among Tamils based on caste and religion there. If it is a Tamil people, they don't mind the caste or the religion of the people. Still, many Tamils work in the agricultural sector. Still, people are working in the plantations in the agricultural sector. The educated Tamils also hold high positions in both government and private offices. You can also find not only agricultural sector, you can find educated Tamils in good positions, high positions in government as well as also in the private sector. The interest of Tamils to learn Tamil and its culture are very strong in the island. People are very much interested to learn Tamil and the culture, our culture in the island. What you see on the picture is a beautiful temple or Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Angkor Wat, A-N-G-K-O-R-W-A-T, Angkor Wat in Cambodia. The magical Angkor Wat remains one of the most famous mountain temple. Do you know who built the temple, children? It was King Suryavarman II. Suryavarman II began its 30-year construction in the 12th century and it went on for 30 years. It is beautiful, famous mountain temple in Cambodia. You know children, Tamil finds place not only in the Indian currency notes but also in the currencies of other 3 countries. You can find Tamil finds its place in Sri Lanka, Mauritius as well as in Singapore. The currencies of Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Singapore bears Tamil. Tamil Heritage Month in Canada. You know children, it is celebrated in Canada also. A decision was made by the government of Canada on October 5, 2016 to declare the month of January as Tamil Heritage Month. They have declared it as a Tamil Heritage Month. Why they are celebrating is, this recognizes the contributions that Tamil Canadians have made to the Canadian society. So they have declared whole month, January month in Canada as Tamil Heritage Month. And it is done to recognize the contributions of our Tamil people in the Canadian society. Children, now let us see the conclusion of the lesson. We learnt about the Tamil people living in different parts of the world. Yes, in ancient times, Tamils sailed to many nations as traders and warriors. We have seen that in ancient times, Tamil people sailed. Sailed is to travel in the boat to different nations, many nations. They were traveling as traders or warriors or artisans. Tamils are noted for their hard work. The speciality of Tamilians are their hard work. They work very hard. Persistently they will work. It elevated the living standard of the Tamils. Elevated means to raise. It improved the living standard of the Tamils. You know what is the living standard? The quality of our life. What are the things we can afford? What are the things we can buy? That is the meaning of living standard. So, the hard work of the people elevated the living standards. Tamils in abroad feel proud to be a Tamil. They are very proud, like we are also proud to be Tamil people. The people who live abroad also are very proud to be a Tamil one. Children, it is now time to go through the glossary. Expedition, E-X-P-E-D-I-T-I-O-N. Expedition is a journey for the purpose of war. Journey for the purpose of war is called as expedition. Peninsula, P-E-N-I-N-S-U-L-A. Peninsula is an area of land surrounded by water on 3 sides. What is the peninsula? An area of land surrounded by water on 3 sides. You know children, India is a peninsula. Slave, S-L-A-V-E, slave, a person who is forced to obey his or her owner. Slave. Island, I-S-L-A-N-D, island, S is silent, you should not say island, it is island. I-S-L-A-N-D, island, a small piece of land surrounded by water on all sides. Can you say an example of an island? Yes, that is Sri Lanka. Very good. Multiculturalism. 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 Multiculturalism is the different cultural groups in a society. The different cultural group in a society are called as multiculturalism. Riot. R-I-O-T. Riot is a violent crowd of people that disturb peace. Strive. S-T-R-I-V-E. Strive is try hard. Mere. M-E-R-E. Mere is unimportant. Trader. T-R-A-D-E-R. Trader is a person whose business is buying and selling. Trader. Warrior. W-A-R-R-I-O-R. Warrior is a soldier, the one who will fight. Then elevate. E-L-E-V-A-T-E. Elevate is to lift up. Elevate. Now children, let us see the recap of the lesson. Children, Tamils travelled to many countries like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, Fiji, Mauritius and Reunion. Tamil language is used in the currencies of Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Singapore. Sri Lanka is home to many Tamils. There are two types of Tamils, Sri Lankan Tamils and Indian Tamils. Reunion is an island that has many Tamils who are eager to learn language and its culture. Before winding up the session, let us have a recap of what we learned in this one. Dear children, in this session we discussed about the Tamils in Fiji, Myanmar and Mauritius. We learned that Fiji is a group of volcanic islands in South Pacific and the Tamils were sent to Fiji by the British as labourers between 1903 and 1916. In 1850, people from Tamilnadu moved to Myanmar and worked in the agricultural fields. There are many temples in Myanmar for Hindu gods like the Mariamman, Murugan and Tirumal. The French brought many Indians to the island Mauritius in the year 1729 as they were skilled workers, and many Tamils were brought from in and around Puducherry in 1731. Reunion, which is an island located in the Indian Ocean near Mauritius, Tamils worked in tea and sugarcane plantations. They are more than 1/4 of the total population of this island. Children, it is time for worksheet number 2. Question number 1. Fill in the blanks. Principal religion of Myanmar is dash. The principal religion of Myanmar is dash. Dash is which is the main religion of Myanmar. Question number 2. In the year dash, British captured Mauritius. In the year dash, British captured Mauritius. Roman number 2. Write true or false. Question number 1. King Sithara is the son of Anavrata Minsa. Question number 2. Tamils are living only in Tamilnadu. Roman number 3. Answer the following questions. Question number 1. Write a note on Reunion Island. Write a note on Reunion Island. Question number 2. Write a note on Tamils in Mauritius. Write a note on Tamils in Mauritius. Dear children, as we do in the case of worksheet, copy the questions in a rough note and learn the answers, write it as home test and send the answers to my personal WhatsApp number. Dear children, in the next session we will discuss the book back answers, that is the evaluation part. With that, we wind up today's session, my dear children. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Samacheer Kalvi Guide.